And that brings us to our next conversation. The Chargers running back, Davis, through decades and decades, not quite as good as Denver, but through decades, has always been a coveted piece in fantasy football. And this year, it's back to Austin Ekeler again. Interestingly enough, somebody had asked me about a dynasty trade the other day with him involved. I did not realize he's pushing 30 pretty quickly here. 911 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns. He's fantastic out of the backfield. He's a wonderful person too. I mean, we love talking. I mean, he loves fantasy football, and I would never say anything negative about this guy because he is fun. He keeps us updated with his status and things like that. But I guess the question, I guess I don't have a question about his ability this year. I don't know how many more times he can do what he's done, but the injuries definitely have been a factor. And then all of a sudden, that opens up the door for another running back in Los Angeles. So I just simply wonder, Davis, do you think that he can stay healthy? Because simply put, over the years, he's not been able to.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is pretty strong. He really has only missed time in one season. He only played 10 games in 2020, but he's played every game of his career other than that. Now, granted, his first 2 years in the NFL, his time there was coinciding with Melvin Gordon, which is kind of why we forget why it would be a little bit surprising that he is already 27. He's already entering into his sixth year in the NFL, but those first 2 years, he just wasn't really a part of the offense a ton. He's been really good on a per touch basis, obviously, in his NFL career. The worry you would have about Eckler is that the entire time he has been the lead back of the Chargers, they have tried to bring in other guys to just, make it so that he doesn't have to stay on the field, for every down. Kalen Balaj, Justin Jackson, Josh Kelly, Larry Roundtree. I mean, they've tried all these guys. They draft Isaiah Spiller in the fourth round of the NFL draft this year. Spiller unfortunately suffers an ankle injury in the preseason. Unclear if he's going to be ready for week one. And a huge part of Eckler's value does come from touchdowns. This is actually true. Kind of surprising. He led the NFL in touchdowns last season. 20 touchdowns was the most of any player in the NFL last season. If you scale him back to something like 10 or 11 touchdowns, now obviously he's a first round pick, so the expectation is double digit touchdowns. He doesn't look quite as good. He's kind of just like, a discount version of Christian McCaffrey, where you're really hoping that most of his work comes as a receiver. Last year, 94 targets, 70 receptions, 650 yards, 8 touchdowns as a receiver. If he's able to duplicate that and doesn't lose, goal line work to any of these guys, Kelly, Spiller, maybe even Herbert himself, I think he's a fine selection where he goes. For me, he's the clear sixth pick, though, after Jonathan Taylor, after McCaffrey, Kupp, Jefferson, and Chase. But I do think he is a very good sixth pick.